In Venezuela, a massive mobilization packed the streets of Caracas to show the world that the Venezuelan people took a strong stance in defense of peace and the victory of President Nicolás Maduro. Our correspondent Gladys Quesada has all the details.
The Venezuelan people took to the streets this Saturday afternoon, not with violence or hostility, but with peace, music and slogans to defend the victory of elected President Nicolás Maduro, who won in the elections last Sunday.
We are going to the street to defend our homeland, our sovereignty, our independence, and to back Nicolás Maduro. And the Yankees can't forget, because we are defending our sovereignty. Long live the homeland, long live Venezuela, long live Nicolás Maduro.
The march attendees also demanded justice after the terrorist actions and violence outbreaks in the nation prompted by the radical extremist right-wing groups, which resulted in over 1,000 detentions. The rioters provoked terror under the excuse of contesting the electoral results of the July 28th polls. Also, the intellectual authors of these actions must face the law, according to Venezuelan people.
The Venezuelan justice is going to act to capture all of the intellectual authors calling to the violence, where have been death, when it's been destroyed medical facilities, when schools has been destroyed. They're going to pay, Maria Corina, you're going to pay. You're going to pay for every crime that you committed. And you're always shielding under the gringos, but that's over. That's your turn. Miss Maria Corina, stop the violence. Your children are in the United States, and you're putting issues in crisis and crime to the young people of our homeland. You can search for your kids and pull it in the front, your sons in the United States.
This crowd is also outraged by the interference of the United States, the European Union, international organizations, and an insignificant group of Latin American countries, and demands respect for them. They reject any interference in the country.
I am against of those countries that are not recognizing our sovereignty, our will, and they're recognizing in a way very responsible the results that are presented by Maria Corina Machado and Mundo González.
Throughout this week, different social forces in the country have taken to the streets to reaffirm solid support for President Nicolás Maduro and to warn the world that they are willing to enforce their decision at the ballot box and to reject the attempted coup by the ultra-right extremists. For teleSUR English, Gladys Quesada, Caracas, Venezuela.
Also in Venezuela, in his program con el Mazo Dando, the first vice president of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, Diosdado Cabello, condemned the far-right views on the Venezuelan electoral system.
Because one ends up believing that people go to elections. And if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. It has been proven that with these people that is not true. That is not true. They will have the thing in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court issued a resolution where everything that has to do with the elections goes there. Then the one that goes to elections and says that it does not recognize the results. How is it that you continue participating in elections, I say? How is it that your party does not recognize the elections and you go again to register to say the same thing again? No, that is a mess. You see, then you have to take measures soon. Soon they will take it, I am sure, and the TSJ will make some decisions. The Electoral Council will make others. But also the Venezuelan state will make others.
Likewise, the Vice President of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela acknowledged the work of the country's security forces in the recent terrorist acts caused by the Venezuelan far right.
Mi reconocimiento total y absoluto al SEBIN, a la DGCIN, a la Policía Nacional, al CICPC, a nuestra...
My total and absolute recognition to the SEBIN, to the DGCIM, to the National Police, to the CICPC, to our Bolivarian National Guard, impeccable. Impeccable. And the public ministry doing its job, the courts doing their job, and when they interrogate a great number of them, you voted, you did not vote, because I am not registered. But before they said I was claiming my electoral rights. Ah, but you did not vote. At the end they finished their movie telling the story. Well, that is the little rope. We are pulling the little rope of this matter, and we have arrived to I paid so and so. And now we are going for the one who paid. And more than one has been captured, then we are going for the one who gave the money to the one who paid. Here nobody holds anything back, because they know that what comes next is that the right wing is used to leave their people alone. In the right wing there is no solidarity.
Porque ellos saben que lo que viene después es que la derecha acostumbra a dejar solo.
The Venezuela Nuestra campaign command announced the far-right forced the fake tally sheets to give grounds for claiming fraud and disregarding electoral results. Let's see the details in the following material.
The head of the campaign command, Jorge Rodriguez, granted that the tally sheets published on the far-right website represent just 30% of the true data.
¿Cómo es posible que el secretario de Estado de la que se considera la mayor potencia del mundo?
How is this possible, that the Secretary of State of what is considered the greatest global power accepts a result when they only published 9,468 tally sheets, just representing 30%? What they issued there on the web because we visited the site and took out their fake info counting up 9,468 tally sheets, 30%. I still call them tally sheets for didactic reasons, but those are not tally sheets. If you divide the ballot papers assigned to González Urrutia in Amazonas states, 46,060.99, ballot papers by the turnout figured, he says, gives the result of 63%. And if you divide the votes assigned to President Nicolás Maduro, 22,228 ballot papers by the same turnout, he says, gives the result of 30%. How curious that in the 23 states nationwide, González Urrutia gains 63%, while Maduro gets 30%. That is, all states, such as Guaira, Amazonas, Sucre, and Anzoátegui, Caracas, provided exactly the same results. That is mathematically impossible.
El mismo resultado. Eso es matemáticamente imposible.
Rodriguez presented pieces of evidence to the country of how the far-right opposition planned to disregard the electoral results.
Y es que el señor Edmundo González Urrutia,
on July 29 evening, Mr. Edmundo González Urrutia made available to Venezuelans a website where they were allegedly going to upload some tally sheets with the electoral results. The results of the presidential July 28 election in 2024. How curious that the day before the elections on July 27, 2024, the far-right opponents acquired this domain. They borrowed it and rented it for a year from July 27, 2024 to July 27, 2025. That is, they had already decided not to abide by the results.
Julio del 25, es decir, ya ellos habían decidido no acatar el resultado.
Jorge Rodriguez, also president of the National Assembly Parliament, recalled that the former far-right presidential candidate, Edmundo González, did not sign the agreement on the recognition of the results.
Ustedes saben muy bien, porque es público, notorio y comunicacional.
You know very well because it has been widespread on all media outlets that none of the spokesperson of the candidate González Urrutia have accepted neither to sign the agreement of the candidates in the National Electoral Council or to recognize the authority of the only entity in charge of deciding who was the winner.
A decidir quién había resultado vencedor.
Rodriguez assured that this alleged fraud was set up by the Summit company with the participation, from abroad, of far-right leaders, and reaffirmed that the campaign command and President Nicolás Maduro are willing to guarantee the transparency of the electoral process.